in a lot of stores. So it's little wonder that smart shoppers everywhere take time out to pause and refresh. And where else but in the fountain where they serve ice-cold Coca-Cola?
The eMilitia Podcast, Episode 45, Riots and Liberty. Enjoy, fuckers.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. I know it's been a long time since we released an episode. I think that's mostly BR's fault, but he blamed it on me. So we're just gonna die with these decisions we've made. But anyway, we have an interesting episode coming up. Covers a lot of current events. Mostly, we're going to talk about the protests and what's stemmed from the protests that are nationwide, worldwide at this point, actually. But we're going to focus on America, I think. And just so you know, with us, we have Bloody Revolutions, Bootlickers Beware. We have Miss Buckles, myself, Rebellious Liberty, and then Hangup's brother, Rezi. So that's it. So let's jump right into it. What y'all want to talk about first?
Well, we've all been fucking debating for, 2 or 3 days now about this Garrett Foster shooting. So,
yes.
I guess we should
the
put
bold thing to start with, BR.
Well, you know, let's just.
But I respect it. I
the
respect your
media
initiative.
So, to give context for the people who've been living under a rock, these Black Lives Matter protests have been going on, and you know they're getting harassed by cops, getting chucked in unmarked vans by fucking Gestapo police with no markings from Homeland Security. You know, people are being gassed to absolute shit, which is a war crime everywhere, but when the police use it. And of course we have all of the more the recovering Republicans who point and laugh and say, "Oh well, they're all Marxists, so what do I give a fuck?" And it's like, okay, so it's a travesty when it happens to us, but not them. Like, there's not a consistency on where state force is okay, and if you are consistent, it's nowhere. But so now we've had people start to go to these protests armed, which is something that I'd like to see more of, because I think if you had real visible armed protesters, they get fucked with less. I mean, no one was tear gassing the all black militia, as the NFAC guys or whatever they are. They're nationalists too, so fuck them. But they didn't get gassed. They didn't get chucked in cars unmarked.
Yeah. Nobody wants to kick a hornet's nest, man.
They're killing white babies. People?
They what?
They're killing white babies, people?
Oh, yeah. No, trust me, they're morons, and fuck them. Their messages are shit as the guys who carry the tiki torches.
We gotta go out there and kill us some Penelope.
Yeah, like carrying. Oh, you guys saw the video about the leader of that militia with the
bullpup.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a bullpup.
They call it a bullpup because it kicks like a bitch. Like, fuck me. That's
you hit it and it goes off.
You're so wrong. It pains me. But anyway, so fuck those guys as much as you know the white nationalists. But they didn't get fucked. Yeah, that's the end of that. That's the end of that message. And so you know,
but not because you're black.
No, anyone who's armed is not getting fucked with. And so we've seen a few people from our own community, you know, we've lost people to police brutality, plenty of people shot, imprisoned, etc. Just monitored and trafficked is enough. Monitored and tracked even. We're not suffering from weight there. But yeah, so we've seen some of our communities starting to march with them, you know, talking about Duncan Lemp. And Breonna Taylor being killed by no-knock raids, which perfectly valid. We should be out there with them. And so then
everything's gradually shifted.
Yeah, right now I'm seeing a real contention about either one side saying it's divide and conquer tactics, which I would agree with. That's happening to us, and then the others like we're being co-opted and we're all playing into some like I don't know. Again, I can't say this unbiased, but we're playing into some fucking communist game or whatever the fuck it is. because we also think police brutality is wrong, which is a shit take, but whatever. So, Garrett Foster, who was a libertarian, people are like, he's not one of us. I mean, Too Savage posted those screenshots.
To be fair, he had a black
What?
girlfriend.
What are you-
That's why he was out there.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. What I'm saying is, his ideology was consistent with what he was doing. You know, he wasn't just like, we're not just claiming him because he was a guy who was carrying a protest.
Yeah.
You know, and he ticks all the right boxes. Like he was posting memes that probably people we know made.
Yeah.
So and now this guy's dead, and we have half the community laughing at it. Like
Rip in peace.
Did he follow any of you guys?
I don't know. I don't know his handle. I don't know how to.
He so the screenshots I saw of him like reposting memes are on Facebook, so he might not have even been on Instagram. But you know, he was definitely like-minded.
There's an account that has his name on the in the bio that follows me. I'm not sure if it was his account or is
or
his
if it's a
account.
new one.
Yeah.
Yeah, all this Duncan like everyone using the name
Everyone's Duncan Lemp.
Duncan Socrates Lamp has really fucked me up. But anyway, so yeah, we've come to this point where it's like all of a sudden we went from kind of being like, yeah, it's cool, everyone's pissed about police brutality, to just shunning the whole movement. Apparently, that's like the move now. It got too cool and too big, and the libertarian community has turned hipster and is like, no, we don't want any more police brutality protests. Thank you very much.
I think some of the disconnect has to do with, you know, what's been going on at these protests and how a majority of them haven't actually been peaceful. Whether they haven't stayed peaceful because of instigators or you know or whatever, but I think the level at which it's gone kind of has turned a lot of people off. You know, but
Yeah.
I understand, like, when they first started and they're destroying private businesses and stuff. I haven't been seeing a lot of that lately. I see them surrounding a federal courthouse.
Yeah.
that's what they should be doing. That's the fuck.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
That's what they should be doing, and that's who
what's
they
up.
should be protesting
I agree
against.
with you. I've seen more of that. Less
And-
Yeah,
subways.
I want to see
Like-
more of that and less small businesses being looted. I want to see
Yeah.
more.
Yes.
I want to see more federal buildings, more state buildings, more local government buildings. Like focus. These people need to be focusing their aggression and energy on the people that are actually like just causing issues or are complacent with the issues, not on the Ace Hardware owner or the the whatever the case may be. Even if even the big multinational corporations, that's still, I still respect private property and property laws, and the way people are handling this, it makes us all look like a joke.
Oh, 100%. And it's I've never said like we should blanket support anything, because that's a way to hurt yourself very quickly. But the organic component of Black Lives Matter, which has been about far
The
longer
notion
than
that Black Lives matter.
the simple notion.
That's not even
know.
that's not even something that's for debate. Like
Oh yeah.
But the level that it's gone to, and the fact that the organization itself has raised fucking billions of dollars and genuinely hasn't done shit with the money that they're raising.
That's enough to pay off entire councils and courts and everything.
Well, it's enough to do a lot, but they're not doing shit.
You change a lot of shit with $1 billion.
Yeah, and I think it's more than $1 billion, right? Isn't it closer to last I saw it was like over $5 billion?
Yeah, I think so.
And it's like, I mean, how many people's student loans have they paid off? How many scholarships are they putting up? What are they doing with that money to invest it to do the same things that they're demanding with defunding the police? And obviously I support demilitarizing the police, defunding the police, gutting the entire thing. But
yeah.
I just wish that the people that were protesting had the consistency that we all strive for. And it's void. It's not even close.
I think the movement is so fucked from the optics of it because some people are always going to report what they want to see. So our community, we're going to be reposting, and obviously we're biased as much as anyone else is. We're going to be posting the stuff that is like, state bad, anti-police good. But then we have the opposite where it's like mainstream is showing only the rioters, only the ones destroying stuff. And then people more plugged into the movement itself are only showing the peaceful protests. It's a shit show of optics. No one knows what to believe, and everyone's fucking at each other's throats because everyone's a liar in everyone else's eyes.
Yeah, and I think some people are just kind of sick of it. I guess I don't know.
Well, it's a sick of it kind of year because I mean tension's already high as fuck, and so everyone's now like, oh, you're just exacerbating it, on every side, and so nothing productive is coming out of it at this point. It's just more, blue versus red and us versus them, rather than any kind of unity happening or any kind of. I just feel like it's being Doomer episode. It's all being steered very conveniently, and
Yes.
It's annoying because I was very hopeful when this all started to kick off, and it's just been turned into
Same.
the same exact thing it was like back in 2014 with the Ferguson protest.
Fucking stoked when this. I was so fucking stoked when this started happening. I felt like rejuvenated. Like like you guys listen to me bitch all the time about how the Rodney King riots and how no one does shit, and like we've been beaten into our heads. This is normal, for people.
Oh yeah, we've been desensitized.
And I guess I wish when the opportunity came to like really make some noise about the issues, like it got fucked up because people wanted new pairs of Jordans, and it's just fucking
yeah. Well, the cameras are always only pointed, at those places. That, like here in Phoenix, there was peaceful protests downtown, like consistently for like night after night, and then there's one big old break-in in like the bougie part of town. They break into the mall and start stealing shit, and that was the big focus for like days after it happened. Even though it was done in one night or whatever it was like. It's like, oh shit, well, look at what they're doing to the malls. It's like, who gives a fuck? Does that change the message or the notion? And people, just those single little opportunistic moments get used to validate people abducting others, like so-called arrests, that they're kidnappings by people who have police and nothing else marking them. And now it's okay to gas them, again, war crime, kidnap them, kill them, headshot them with like gas canister grenades, and they're aiming for the heads. You can see in the videos. They're not just, it's completely on purpose. Someone yells "fuck you, pig," and next, and freedom of speech, but apparently not. Apparently, you can just take someone's head off, and that's okay because they're Marxists for not wanting to be killed by police.
Well, that's the part that like the neocons don't get. Like that's the part that and again, that's where their ideology separates from ours. As we all recognize that if it's wrong, it's wrong, it's wrong. It doesn't matter who it's wrong to or who's doing it. If it's fucking wrong, it's wrong. And
crazy thought.
and we recognize that, but like the neoconservative mindset or wherever you fall on the spectrum that can just dismiss this. Because it's the same argument for I parallel it a lot with racism. Like when I get people that will
hold on. There's a bunch of people honking horns and cops outside, so I'm gonna go see what this is. I'll be back.
All right. I guess just like it's the parallel with racism to make an appeal or to I guess sometimes in my comment section I'll have people that aren't worth the time to explain some shit to, but that's what we're here for. And I guess like a lot of times, like people don't realize that if they will do it to them, they'll do it to you, and this is a prime example of what's going on. Like if everyone's complacent and it's okay for them to go out and bash and beat and war crime a bunch of commies, ironically exercising their First Amendment rights. Then what's the difference between, I guess, what's the difference? They'll do it to them. They'll do it to us. If we allow it to happen to them, how can we ever expect anything other than them to allow it to happen to us? Yeah. And
And-
everyone deserves that space, to advocate for themselves and in the individual. And the masses don't recognize that as,
Well, yeah, that's the
we're
thing
missing
is
the
then
point.
everyone starts to bring up like, oh, well, it's because they're being violent and it needs to stop. And it's like, dude, can you guarantee that every single person that's being victimized by this is a violent protester? Like, and then they'll respond and be like, well, yeah, of course. And be like, dude, you can't decide who to gas, Like, it just kind of happens to everybody. And so, yeah, some of the
Even the people
justifications-
who just live in those cities or have an apartment, above those streets, like exactly, like whoa, they deserve this.
And it's not a blameless thing because while we're a pretty small group who are going to be like really hardcore consistent about this, where it's like, yeah, it's fucked up to say that they shouldn't be messed with, because a lot of the time they wouldn't say the same thing about us. I mean, it's this problem where the libertarian left gets stomped on, and the libertarian left would point and laugh at us when we're getting chucked in vans if something like that was happening to us, like the Bundy standoff, or what happened to Lavoy Finicum. Like, they don't give a shit. It's just like, that
they deserved it.
yeah, that so-called white supremacist or whatever got killed by the state, and fuck him. And then of course when it happens to them, we're like, oh well, we remember you laughing at that. Fuck you guys, it's happening to you now. It's like, okay, cool, we'll both just get stomped on until we're into oblivion. Like that's a really
It's like
good
we can be
strategy.
better than them and say, hey, no, this is not okay, no matter what.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like, someone has to be the adult in the conversation eventually, and yeah, I was about to say this is all like a big scale version of the libertarian empathy problem, where it's like, fuck those guys because they're not us. They don't agree with us, and it's like, no, we have to be consistent, people. Come the fuck on.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
Wait a
Yeah.
second. We respect people's
Yeah.
individual
Yeah.
right to free thought.
Oh, bro. Hey,
Just-
T-O. Shout out to Scubo for that post the other day. And in your stories, that shit was fire. Anyways, keep
You
going.
call him Scubo?
Yeah, dude. Calling
I-
everybody out on like fucking hello, libertarianism, anarchy isn't supposed to be collective, bitches. Like,
Oh,
fucking-
yeah.
yeah.
I was reading.
There
I
is
was
no
gonna
us,
say-
it is me.
Yeah, I just always read it as Scobo. I was like,
Yeah, it's definitely gotta be Scobo.
Oh, we are losing.
Yeah, Rezi, you
He's with Skynet now. He's in a worse place.
He's R2D2 Res. Whoa, Res 2D2.
Res 2D2.
Oh,
Oh, he's back.
and the problem is everyone whining and crying.
And he's going.
The problem is, alrighty. You
Problem
really
is
said
this
that's
connection
great.
here.
Yeah, it's gonna be
The
a
problem is.
bitch in editing. Thank you.
Ah.
All right. Well,
Well, we don't know what the problem was, Res. Where'd you go, bro?
I think you might be dead, to be honest.
Oh,
All
Res
right.
2D2. Are you there?
Well, anyway, long story short of this whole conversation is, people need to fucking get consistent. It's like you can't cheer on state aggression. Yeah, like
That goes for both sides.
100%.
If you're gonna be super violent, you better have like a real cause besides you want to be very violent. And
Yeah,
if that means that you're a Fed or you're a commie,
And you also need to be accurate with your violence.
yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
target the people who are actually your enemy.
Yeah. Don't just go out there and be fucking Don't get. I mean, that's great. That's crazy to just go be indiscriminately violent towards things that have caused you no harm when there's so much out there that's fucking your shit up. Like,
Yeah.
go fuck that shit up. Ah. Yeah.
Well, it's just outsourcing of problems as usual. You know, no one wants to take responsibility for themselves.
Well, I think
That seems to be a
that's
running
where
theme in 2020.
I think that's where the empathy problem within the libertarian, crew lies, is because we all kind of
Acknowledge
are
that it's
looking
responsibility.
for accountability, and I think
Yeah.
I think we do have the ability to be empathetic and sympathetic once if someone takes responsibility for whatever has happened. I think the disconnect is when people fail to do that.
I
You
think
know,
people are so
that's 2D2.
state is bullshit.
Yeah.
They think they came over to this community and they believe in the freedoms and everything.
Oh, I really want to seriously listen, but it sounds like you're stroking out, dude.
I know.
What is going on with that?
Wait, it might not be his connection at all. Someone should actually go check on him.
Yeah, someone go check on our boy. Like, that did not sound good.
Yeah, I think Matt Stayisco is a few hours away. I gotta message him. Can you go check Rezzy's alive? He might have had a stroke mid-show. Oh fuck, that's not good. Bullshit. Stay, that's gonna be my ringtone. Status bullshit. It's really hard to stay serious on the fucking topic with that. Oh yeah, and it's something that's never gonna happen. Like all these people who are so militant about well, we can't do it their way because blah blah blah, this and that, labels, etc. It's like, okay, so you picture some sort of world where everyone believes in the exact same thing, like a hive mind. Yeah, no. If you think that's how the world could ever be, no wonder people call us utopian. It's the exact fucking opposite. It's like no one will ever agree. We're all individuals. We're all fucking wildly different with different needs, and yeah, exactly. It's a feature, not a bug. So you should account for it. You should account for having to work with people who aren't fucking identical to you in thought and how they behave and shit. And there's certain standards to be met, like not being violent towards innocents, not using violent coercion. Very
Not being a
simple.
pedophile.
Yeah, simple shit we can all agree is fundamentally wrong. Fair enough.
I know. I thought
That
I thought Trump's secret police were supposed to go out and get the pedophiles, not the protesters.
Yeah, sure. I'm sure.
Or the QAnon guys. Like, why? Like, the QAnon guys. Like, what's up? Like, they're supposed to be black bagging pedophiles and corrupt officials, not people exercising their First Amendment rights.
Well, I imagine there's a QAnon thread somewhere that says every single protester abducted was also a pedophile.
Oh, dude, guarantee it. If not, they're gonna they just heard you and they're like, yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to go down the rabbit hole to find it, but I'm very confident you can find it somewhere.
Damn, they want to get them street level pedophiles. They don't need to worry. They're not worried about them.
The big ones,
Hollywood pedophiles. Them,
the ones from islands.
I mean, I thought they got rid of Tom Hanks, but he came out. Now he's moving, I guess. So
where they decriminal. Yeah.
Is that true? That seems like something Snopes. I would expect Snopes to shoot down and actually be correct about for once. There's no way that's a thing. Fucking hell. I mean,
I mean, it
true,
is.
but
But does that justify the action?
Obviously not.
Let's not have a fedora podcast here. We're too
Did
good
I
for
ever tell you
that.
guys about the time I did jury duty and
Oh,
sent a kitty toucher away for life?
Ooh.
I think you talked about it to us, but not on the show. Maybe on the show. I don't know.
Yeah. It was one of the most gratifying experiences I've ever had with the state.
Jury nullification is not needed.
Certainly not in this instance. All right.
I was gonna say, like, well, it'll probably be sorted out inside, as we always see.
So when they black bag these folks, how many of them do you think are going to Gitmo, and how many get released?
Well, everyone's telling me that they get released immediately after.
So are they charged with anything? Are they like given a
It might just be
citation?
kinda
Like what's
a
the
tactic rather than like an actual arrest? Like just picking them up and kind of freaking them out, and then they tell their friends and they bitch about it. Everyone's kind of like, "Ooh, there's Gestapo now," you know?
Yeah.
further solidify the police state that we live in?
Well, yeah, that's another thing to talk about because a lot of people, you know, again, they justify this shit, and it's like, well, they're violent. And it's like, right, so
Don't they still have rights?
yeah, so we're gonna set a precedent where you can just fucking kidnap people on the accusation of a crime. Like, that's a bit Orwellian. Like, you can just be walking down the street and
Just a
you know,
touch. Just a
give it
touch.
fucking 10 years, and there'll be some absurd, you know, new law on the book where you can
He thought about picking up that brick. He thought about it.
Yeah, that's what red flag laws are.
Yep. It's yeah, and it's this mirror. Yeah, it's this mirror image of them clamping down, you know, the left and the right boot, stomping down in candidants because we have the drug war, which has slowly eroded any kind of freedom for, you know, your typical left-wing activists because you can just
and
raid the
on
house
hold
and
up.
say they have drugs and shit.
Yeah, and did you guys, on that note, did you guys see that the Democratic Party officially withdrew legalization of cannabis as part of
What the fuck?
Democrats
Yeah, dude.
now suck worse than Republicans, right?
Yeah, Q Trump's gonna say pick that shit up. Wow.
Yeah.
He'll pick those votes up.
It's like such a fucking easy choice. He would win. Like,
Yeah.
just do it. Suck it up from the boomers who would bitch at you and say, "I'm not voting." Most of
Reason
them are dead.
said over 2/3 of Americans want it legalized fully.
Well, and like a solid majority of medical marijuana patients are like seniors. Like so many
Yeah,
people.
all veterans and shit. Like his typical crowd who would eat that shit up.
All right, but anyways, back to the cast. Sorry, didn't mean to.
Yeah, back to but yeah. So these we validated kicking in their doors with the fear that Nixon and Reagan created with the drug war, and you know, in return, Clinton came along, and we had all this increased gun control where we're further criminalized for just inch by inch, you know, so you can gradually report us for this and that and get us locked up. And, you know, now we have red flag laws cropping up all over the place. And pretty soon it's going to be the next jump where you can just be fucking kidnapped and everyone's like, oh, well, you know, they were violent. And we're saying
big rant on that, man. Freaking, I do not get it. People know that if you give an inch, that the government will continue to like abuse whatever they do, even if it's for good right now, which is not.
Yeah,
it will still be abused. The idea they're like hailing Trump, bringing in feds in all these major cities to like quell violence, and I'm like, dude, don't you realize this is how gun confiscation starts, man? It will be them doing all the red flag searches because they'll be high risk, so it'll be up to the feds. And then it'll continue to go in, and no one's going to care because it's the feds going against bad guys or people who are crazy in the head, and no one's going to care. And people are like, "Well, that can never happen. That's never going to happen." I'm like, dude, you are literally cheering on feds invading cities right now.
It's happening.
Trump tweeted something about that today, and it was like he said something about bringing in the feds and coming down hard. I think he might have deleted it already because I said something about it earlier and it's already gone. Oh no, here it is. So he said if the federal government and its brilliant law enforcement homeland, brilliant, come the fuck on. They can't even find bombs on planes. Didn't go into Portland 1 week ago. There would be no Portland. It would be burned and beaten to the ground.
Who is
If-
this?
this
Trump.
is Dear Fuhrer. Oh, God, that's so corny.
Are you
that's,
fucking
that's such a
kidding
shit
me?
joke.
Here's city in the
Oh,
world.
it carries on. Do not, if the mayor and governor do not stop the crime and violence from the anarchists and agitators immediately, the federal government will go in and do the job that local law enforcement was supposed to do. This could be tweeted in like 4 to 8 years from, an R or a D about some kind of federal gun control. It could be the exact same tweet.
I guarantee within 10 years, it'll be a Democrat who will say the same thing and will need to have this happen because local regions will not enforce their gun control.
But yeah, it's what they'd have to do in like in Virginia if it was a hardcore pro gun control.
It's the
president.
same
Like,
exact argument. It'll be,
Yeah.
we need to do this to protect safety. These people are
Yep.
lawless, blah, blah, blah. And it's like,
and just
dude, do you
black
not
bag
get
us.
this? If Obama did this, you'd be flipping nuts right now.
Oh yeah, there'd be like Tea Party guys out there waving their Gadsdens again. They're collecting dust in their garages right now.
Yeah.
Replaced by fucking mega flags.
That's
that makes me so sad to even say that.
so true.
It's alright, they'll all be dead soon,
And
replaced
the
by
three pers.
better advocates.
God, can't the boomers just fucking die already?
Soon.
Seriously.
For real, like the Earth keeps trying to help us out. The Earth keeps trying
Thank
to
you,
hook us up, but they just don't fucking die. They're like cockroaches.
Yeah, they survived the Cold War, and now they're making it our problem. I fucking hate it.
Fucking terrible. If they would have stepped up when they needed to, there could have been some hope.
Against
Yep,
Daddy Reagan.
Yeah, instead they
Fucking
bought lifetime
oh,
memberships to the
oh.
NRA.
Ugh, I want to fucking throat punch people that fucking with their Reagan hat. Oh god.
I know. He's one of the worst presidents for liberty in recent history.
Yeah.
Machine gun, alcohol.
And the conservatives fucking
Weed.
idolize him. It's like he was literally like the fucking worst.
Oh, and then you got like was it Turning Point quoting him? Yeah, yeah, he's just a fucking cowboy actor who managed to get the most powerful office. I respect the monkey. That's a pretty pimp move.
Supposedly his wife gave a lot of great head too.
Well,
Yeah, supposedly Nancy sucked a lot of dick to get in order to get him where he was.
well,
I could believe it.
it helps. So we've gone from
Wow, how did we? Yeah, what the fuck?
we're going from Black Lives Matter to Reagan and his First Lady BJ's. Nice. Well, ever on topic. Is Guns alive, or did the cops like get him?
What about Res 2D2? You alive?
I
Oh,
think
we-
I'm making it through the stroke.
Oh, there we go. Good.
Live.
Am I? Oh, good.
He's just like picking himself up, taking a swig from his beer, and carrying on.
Live and direct.
They come and go.
Yeah, I'm good.
I was just talking in general. Everyone's so toxic. Everyone's so toxic. You're
I was
making it
pretty pissed off.
toxic, dude. Like, you're the one who's so worried about it.
Stroking out, Yasta.
I'm not
God damn.
worried about
Oh my god.
Say-
We're not gonna be able to have a serious conversation tonight.
I wonder if you can just hear us laughing at him and it keeps going.
normal.
Oh my god, bro.
It's not normal, bud.
Nothing about what you're saying sounds normal.
It's gonna be really awkward if this is how he actually sounds in person.
Oh yeah.
Like it just happens without a
He actually
micro.
uses the software.
Yeah, like come on.
like the like the
and
like
scary.
the bartender in the Boondock scenes. Fuck.
Today, Junior.
Oh, bless him.
Right,
well,
moving on.
So you're talking about well, he was talking about people being toxic and shit.
I think
I don't know. It was kind of crazy. It was like a dude. So my bottom line is, if you open carry for protest of really anything, I kind of have your back because you have a
Agreed.
right to. You have a right to be armed, and you have a right to protest non-violently. And you can be non-violent and carry a rifle. You know, that's a thing, and it should be. And I'm glad it's coming back in this country because it's the only way you don't get fucking gassed and thrown in a van.
Well, I mean I fully support it because I think it's that's the only way you can truly demonstrate that you're being peaceful as opposed to
Yeah.
being harmless. And
Exactly.
like the thing is like a lot of people have forgotten the difference or don't understand that you can't actually be peaceful unless you have the capacity to be violent. And if you don't have the capacity or you don't have the means or the will, then you're not being peaceful, you're being passive. And that's
Ineffective.
yeah, I mean, and you're not being peaceful, you're harmless at that point, and there's
Yeah.
a really big difference between being peaceful and being harmless. And I think the main component there is being having the capacity to be violent or cause violence and choosing to be peaceful.
Well, yeah, I mean, we have that fucking is it Mao Zedong quote? Political power grows out of the barrel of a gun, which, he was a fucking tyrant. He knew what he was talking about because I mean, the people who decide how you live your life are the people with guns, whether you like it or not, whatever persuasion you come from politically. And it can either be you defending yourself in your own autonomy, or it can be someone deciding for you. And these protesters getting chucked in vans, it's being decided for them. Their voices being extinguished with a pair of cuffs and a gun pointed at them, just like that. They're gone. And everyone's terrified and, breaking up. And you have these protesters run away from guys marching down the street with rifles. It's like, you're not equal to them. You don't really have a voice because you're not showing restraint. You're showing that you're a soft target, You're there to be bossed around, and you're there to be listened to until they don't want to listen to you, which is a really short amount of time that they're willing to listen to you. Oh, Resi is completely gone. There he is. But yeah, so people immediately jump into the fact like, oh well, he's not one of us, and he believes in this. It's like I don't give a fuck. You can be out there and protest for anything if you're carrying a gun. That's your right. You're right not to be fucking victimized for having a voice. So the fact that everyone jumps to throw him under the bus, even though he was like he shared our values and was, in my opinion, completely in the right for what he was doing, everyone's still so quick to just eat their own. I don't know. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't understand that. I don't get it. Yeah, I don't get it.
And another thing is everyone's going on about like, oh well, they're in the roads. You shouldn't be in the roads. What the fuck was Trigi doing in Virginia? What was like 15,000 odd people in Richmond doing?
Yep.
That city was shut down. Guess what? Traffic wasn't flowing. And that's how protests work. It's, not everyone's going to be on the pavement, mind their business. You march. That's what happens.
Yeah. My beef with it is I've seen people, I guess just people are getting fucking ran over, and then the assholes that do it end up getting away with it. Is my only beef with it. Like
I
we
think
were
when
talking about earlier. I'm by no means like saying that like you need to pull a permit to have a protest or some stupid shit like that.
Yeah.
But I think like there's been enough examples made by these dumbass people, who on both sides, and people end up getting fucking killed.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
senselessly. whether it's getting hit by a car at 70 miles an hour or ran over at 5 miles an hour or getting shot and killed. It's tragic. It's terrible. That's all.
Yeah, it's not making an ounce of difference when these people get killed. Like, I mean, like, yeah. I mean, is it that woman who got killed, like at that Unite the Right rally a few years ago? I mean, is she even like a martyr? Like, to be really blunt, who cares? No one does. You know, she fucking got killed, and the guy that killed her, I mean, what happened to him? Probably got arrested, charged. Like, neither did anything for their causes. They just someone fucking died. Someone got imprisoned.
Yeah, senseless.
Didn't make an ounce of change.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, people will applaud one or the other, and it's like, dude, you can't literally applaud like running over protesters in the street because it's not moral. They may not like they shouldn't be there necessarily if they're mobbing cars or not. Okay. I'll take that back. If they're mobbing cars, they deserve to get run over. But like if they're in the middle of a street that's not closed off for a protest, sure, maybe they shouldn't belong there. But it doesn't morally give you the right to kill them over it. Like we shouldn't even be having that conversation, you know? We shouldn't be applauding something like that.
That's what I'm saying. And when they go out and do it on the highways and freeways and shit, people are fucking running them over at 70 miles an hour. It's just like, how the fuck can you justify that, dude?
Yeah,
like, I get it.
And then
I go to work every day too. But like, and I know everyone's got shit to do. But like, how the fuck could you justify that to yourself? That I'm gonna run somebody over? You know, like, I mean, with the exception of people like, pulling people out of their cars and shit, because that shit has happened where in riot situations, that can be that can be the only way to protect yourself and whoever else is in your vehicle. But in the situation where they're just holding up traffic or they're walking in traffic and you just have any way to justify killing someone over that, it's just fucking wrong. Like, you're
like, oh, legally you have the right of way, and it's like, okay, but like,
yeah,
morally speaking, if you are gonna like meet God tomorrow, are you gonna say, he deserved to die? Like, no, man.
These man-made rules determine. I had the fucking right of way. Get the fuck out of here, bro. That's a human being. Like, fucking. Yeah. I mean,
it's like,
I'm sure like my employees, my everybody would rather me be 20 minutes late than me fucking kill somebody.
Yeah, those are the same
my
people.
boss just ran someone over because they were in the street.
Those are the same people that'll straw man you for believing the NAP means you can kill someone if they stand in your way for the doorway or something, and then they'll like run protesters and say, "Well, I have the right of way." And it's like, well, you just made fun of me for thinking the non-aggression or for straw manning, something that I don't even really believe in like that.
Yes.
None of that made sense, but yeah,
I
follow. It's like people just take it. Just go extreme. I think is the end message. Everyone's so at the just peak of tolerance for bullshit. Yeah.
Dude, and then another crazy thing about all this shit is like I have personal friends on my like personal Facebook that are like kids, like guys, like people we've known for 20, 30 years, that they're literally in the comment section telling each other that they're unfriending each other over this shit. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? How it's so sick how divisive all this bullshit is and how counterproductive it's become. That's
and everyone's cheering on the division like it's a good thing that the lines are being drawn. It's like, what the
they're fucking picking teams. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and all these people who one day are like, oh, it's the state versus you, are all of a sudden like, yeah, get fucked, call me. It's like, what? Okay.
Not that we have any real reach or anything, but like, have we taught you guys nothing? Like, have you fucking listened to nothing that we say? Like, it's ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous.
Well, it's also people who should know better. Like, annoyingly enough, there's all sorts of people who I really value their opinion on a lot of stuff, and then all of a sudden they just make comments that you're like, oh, fuck me, come on, dude. Like, I don't know. Not to say any of us are fucking divine. Our opinions are always 100% spot on. But like, there's just certain like simple consistencies that you can, not go
Yeah.
out of your way to
like,
to
dude,
stray from.
It's entirely possible to say, hey, I support their right to protest and not get abducted or something, as well as I think that their opinions are garbage and I do not support them,
Yeah.
Like, I don't support their opinions or their group, but that doesn't
But you
mean
have
I'm
to.
going to
But
let
you have
them.
to support their right to be able to express it, or
Yeah.
a place to have it. Like that's their. You can't. Yeah, you can't deny that. Like. I
Yeah,
mean,
you're acting like their
plenty of idiots
opinion
do.
is like an act of aggression against you when their opinion isn't. It's their action that is,
Yeah.
And if their action gets to that at that point, that's when we can start slotting them. But until then, you can't just say, "Oh yeah, state aggression against them is fine because they will eventually do something to me." Maybe in a big blanket statement.
about going to the suburbs. Exactly. Oh, and speaking of at your doorstep, how about these people in St. Louis that caught felony charges and got their shit ganked for confronting fucking trespassers in their front yard?
That whole thing was so fucking stupid.
Down a private road.
Did we do this yet? Have we talked? Did we do this one?
No,
this
it's
kind of
years.
No, man.
this kind of falls into that same. This kind of
No, it does.
overlaps into that.
It's the other side of it to prove that we aren't that we can think.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, like
either you support the
probably not a good
protesters.
idea to shoot somebody
fucked is
that's
that?
carrying a gun or run somebody over for being in the road, but it's also not a good idea to swarm somebody's house
Yeah, it's
and then
like
expect them to be like, "Oh,
like
come in,
doing that.
please."
Yeah.
Yeah, they probably should have showed some restraint, I guess, and not,
Well,
I
just
don't know,
some
man. I would
discipline,
have
but
done
it's just
something
like-
similar. Actually, I probably would have stayed inside, but I understand.
They did show
Yeah.
some restraint. They didn't stack anyone.
Yeah. It's like that ended pretty much as peacefully as you can get, and so
Yeah, I think a little bit of muzzle discipline would have gone a long way. They were
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but fucking Boomer Betty and fucking and Tom over there. I mean, like the guy has zero training. He's got nothing, but I mean, he's got the means to deter or
Maybe
potentially
people with white
protect his
pedophiles.
property. I don't know. How fucked is that? That like they're
People
appeasing the
felony
mob
charges.
mentality, trampling
Yeah.
on rights, and literally like going after these people for like how do you get charged with brandishing on private property
private
that
property.
you own that's being trespassed on
On a
Like, how the
private
fuck
gate
does that
immunity.
happen?
Yeah, and it
they've
was
already
all
broken
handled-
down the gate to get in there.
Yeah,
They're not on route to go to like the Capitol. They're in a private community,
in a gated
Yeah.
neighborhood.
Once they break down the gate, you get to pull your guns out and stand in your front yard.
Yeah.
and then,
Maybe
Yeah,
you're not morally
yeah.
justified to kill him at that point, but yeah, you
Yeah.
should be allowed to deter.
And
I
if
mean,
you want to wear a pink polo while you're doing it, that's your right too.
Yeah.
pop that
There you go,
collar, baby,
gang.
pop that collar.
it was a good look. I won't lie. I support that very much.
I mean the classic M4 and with
Mustard on
the
that shirt.
Yeah, he
with
had
the
Miami
with the
Vice.
chinos, the
energy.
chinos.
But we're getting off track. But
Oh, sorry.
no, but they were completely justified. They handled that in the most peaceful way you can. Like, if a firearm's going to be involved, I'd like it to be at that level rather than someone getting fucking shot for no reason. You know, like if a brandishing means everyone goes home that day, who fucking cares? Why would you then make an example of them with felony charges? So it's like, okay, I guess next time I'll make sure I'm justified to kill someone.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So I don't get like, what the fuck kind of thinking is that?
Well, and like that's the thinking with a lot of the concealed carry issues too. Like, I mean, they drill it into people's head that if your gun comes out, someone's got to die. And
Yeah,
I mean,
Yes.
good, bad. I mean, I just like good, bad, or indifferent. That's like that's what they train. And like,
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
concealed carry classes. It's like, why is that the precedent that we set? Like,
yeah, like
I
why? Yeah,
I
why
get that
does
there's
that
a
have to
lot of
happen?
morons. Like, you guys,
Yeah.
I'm sure you've all seen the picture of those two guys having a conversation at gunpoint with each other.
Yes.
Like the guy is in his truck pointing a pistol at a protester who's pointing a pistol at him. It's fucking stupid. And so there's a balance, of course.
Yeah,
but,
it's like you should show restraint in drawing, making the draw, but it's like really if all you have to do is brandish and not kill someone, you should always take that, you know?
yeah, 100%. I'd fucking do it.
But you will catch a felony. But you will catch a felony. And you will catch a felony, and you will lose your. Yeah, you will. If you have a permit, you will lose it. If you don't have a permit, you're going to jail. For sure. Like,
Man, I've been having that discussion with a lot of mask people, and I'm like, actually, I think the state mandating seatbelts is wrong too. Like, what?
I love it's just for no reason. I think it's because we're all a little bit on the spectrum, but like we'll say something that's already they're already like a little bit pissed off and want to debate, and then you go a step further, and it's like, why did I do that?
Yeah.
It's like not only are there a few bad apples, but
That's a fun one.
But I hate them all.
Yeah, and it's like, why did I do that? Now I've got twice the argument.
Yeah.
Then everybody in the room hates you.
Yes. All right, I'm gonna go.
You're just like, I promise I'm right, even though y'all hate it. I promise.
Get a second drink so I can deal with this.
I promise if you use those critical thinking skills that you don't have, you would have to agree with me.
I had a professor that brought up seatbelt laws, and she was like, "Those shouldn't be a law because I get pulled over for not wearing a seatbelt, and they give me a citation, and I go and I pay it. It's $30 or whatever, and then there's nothing on my record. Like I don't get any points, nothing. So it's just a revenue scheme, and that's it." She was like, "So they either need to get rid of the law." Or they need to make it a legitimate ticket that gives me points on my license. I'm like, whoa. Why would you go there?
Like,
Stop
you were so close.
That shit back in.
Yeah, what the hell? What an idiot. It's a college professor.
On my license, motherfuckers. This is bullshit.
Oh, God. People, man. That's when I quit college. That's legitimately my last day.
Too low IQ.
Never went back. I was like, wow, I'm smarter than
my
professor
fucking
here.
teachers. I don't need to go here.
It happens. It happens a lot. You're like, oh, these guys are all poor fucking Anglo with all his econ professors.
Yo, yeah. I'm happy that my econ, like American history professor in at my school, he like literally was at least semi-Austrian. Like he straight up like is the person who like introduced me to like Friedman and realizing that Keynes, like I didn't know what Keynesianism, was until him. And yeah, he taught me it was bad. That stuff sucked. And I'm like, sweet.
Yeah, like I get it.
So like it's funny because now I look back, I'm like, I think I got a very abnormal experience with economics.
Well, you just had an abnormal experience all around, like from your origin story way back when. Like you seem to be the only one who was. Yeah, you seem to be the only one who was raised like vaguely libertarian.
Yeah, well, most small government conservative Republican households are similar, I think, right? So
yeah, but most small government conservative households that call themselves small government conservative households aren't.
Yeah, most of them are neocons.
Well, I can't necessarily say that's fully true. I mean, my dad, he's still kind of neocon-ish. So, but yeah, I mean, looking back, I mean, all my aunts and uncles on my dad's side, they're like all libertarian and anarchists. It's crazy that I didn't see it until this past year.
They're like, oh, finally, you're up to speed.
Yeah, like literally, they're like, hey, I see some of your Facebook posts. You should join this page that I'm in. And I'm like, dang. So,
oh, you're way more plugged in than me.
It's crazy.
Oh God, I wish I had that. Instead, I just kind of like slowly upset my dad by talking shit about the military. just a little comment here and there. I'm like, oh, and we had a video call maybe 2 months back, and I had the U.S. flag up. I have a blacked out U.S. flag that was hanging upside down behind me, and he was like, "Oh, what's with the flag?" And I was like, "Oh, it's like an anti-government thing." He was like, "Right."
Interesting.
Just kind of disappointed. So yeah, sorry, Dad.
My dad tries to impress me, being like, "Yeah, it's too early to break out the guns, but too late to change anything." And I'm like, "So why do you keep voting Republican?" Well, I feel like we still need to do something, before
I'm
then.
just putting the brakes on, son.
Yeah, I'm like, well, okay.
I
And
love
then-
you, but shut up, please.
Yeah, and then I bring up certain stuff, and he's like, "That's too crazy. That's just wrong. Anti-government stuff. That's just wrong."
What?
Yeah, so I'm just like,
Just
dude,
wrong.
Dad, you make no sense to me right now.
My
Ours.
my dad won't talk anything about politics, but
I love
blindly,
your dad's opinion.
but blindly vote Democrat every year.
There you go.
Like,
I've seen
Christ.
a
He doesn't
lot
wanna
of
talk
recent
about it.
posts from friends like that, man. It's just like straight up like I don't really talk politics. I was just always been raised to vote blue no matter who. And I'm like, you are
I just hit the
literally
button.
justifying this right now? Like,
Yeah, every 4 years people have to justify their politics, and it usually ends with something that, however they might phrase it, it's I just hit the button. Like,
yeah. Oh,
you have presented zero arguments, and
yeah.
I'm judging you.
Even a
Oh.
girl who I respected somewhat. I know she was lefty, but I'm like, hey, maybe she's at least like, more of a Bernie bro. Because I can respect that a little bit more than like Biden, right? And no,
You're peeking behind the curtain like 1%.
she made the
How fucking hysterical is it that Biden is like the best I mean, like, I hate
it's a freaking
like,
joke.
bro. How fucking hysterical is this? Like, they've done nothing but bitch about Trump for 3 years now.
Yeah.
And like, and
the best
that's the best they
that's
can
who you
do?
choose. You could
Fucking
literally choose
hysterical.
anybody and
In a
beat
country of
Trump.
350 million.
Just a regular person would be better.
Yeah.
It's a byproduct of the system.
Yeah.
It really,
Yeah.
really is. The system is set up to keep
no.
giving us shittier
Yeah. What's
and
that?
shittier candidates.
I'm trying to remember what the notion's called, but it's basically just like, yeah, no matter who wins, no one's happy just because they're so middle ground and boring to, attract the
There's
most
nothing
voters.
radical.
Well, they're not boring.
I
Like,
mean,
there's lots of stupid
well,
shit
like in
they
terms
do
of like
that-
wanting to actually change things, they don't do anything,
Yeah, it's a reality
kind of
show
boring.
rather than
Yeah, I mean they're interesting. I want to see a debate between the two. Like I'll tune into that.
The government is nothing but SNL fodder. Change my mind. The only service it provides. Shitty skits from a tired show that should have ended like 15 years ago.
That's a
that makes
shame.
me sad.
What if that was an alternate reality where like our existence is a reality TV show for somebody else? You know what I mean?
It's the equivalent of like a big old bingo ball where they're just rolling out the numbers like, and then this happens.
Yeah, exactly.
Just an idea jar. That sucks. 2020 would be like they're just really going for it, like 24/7 in the shop writing shit.
I think if the Democrats had gone outside and picked up a random 35-year-old person,
They would have been better off.
I really think they would have
Dude,
won. I think
Oh,
they would have.
totally.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
This is Brad, and he's a Democrat, and he's our man for president.
It doesn't
We
even
like
matter.
Brad.
It doesn't matter if he had never identified with a party. They could have literally
they
just
could've
picked up a
they could've
random
put
Any
AOC
35
up.
person
and said, "Hey, you're the Democratic nominee now."
be like, hey,
And
what
he could just
what
go
do you
on.
want?
He could just go online and talk and just talk. And if he just
Are you over
talked,
the age
he'd
of
already be
35?
better.
His main
Well,
likes are
yeah,
vanilla,
were you
missionary
born in
sex.
They could put
And
AOC
sedans.
up in a see-through shirt and have her dance, and she would win the presidency.
I'd
mean-
watch that too.
I mean, it doesn't matter if they have no background at all. Like, so what'd you do before this, Brad?
I was a bartender.
I repaired air conditionings at gas stations and
He's a working man. He
grocery
gets
stores.
the people.
Oh, God.
bad
Didn't
move.
Didn't the Tea Party try that?
Oh, what, the blue collar thing?
Yeah, the
And no one
Bob the
gave a
plumber or something.
fuck. Oh.
I do not remember.
Plumbers make too much money.
Yeah, fuck you, Jared.
Should have gone with
Says,
the.
says the guy who's not cleaning out people's shit.
Nah, it's fair.
No, they should have gone with a McDonald's employee. They're all the rage now. Minimum wage workers. That's where you should go. That would get the votes.
Oh,
What if? What if? How about this for a mind fuck? What if JoJo would have ran on the Democratic bill?
Hell yeah.
And then
I think she'd win.
flip the script. Like, you just be like, nope, it's fake,
She would definitely have won.
dude. Yeah, that's.
See, the thing is, she'd say like we're ending the
Talk about,
drug
like
war.
weed and like qualified immunity and shit like that. And
Yeah, like,
Democrats
she
would have been
would've-
like, hell yeah.
She would have been a better. She would have been a better candidate for the.
Well,
She'd
I
say
love
she-
that
she- I mean,
libertarians are trying to get Republicans to flip over to JoJo, and they're like, "Are you insane? She wants to
Trump
open the
is the
borders."
Yeah, I know, right?
Like, so they're never gonna convert. They're so against that.
Ugh. I've seen actually in my circle of Facebook friends more support for JoJo than I ever thought I'd see. So that makes me kind of excited that I'm like, oh man, I hope people,
all your
you
Facebook
know,
friends are status.
oh, I know they are.
I haven't seen anybody
But
not in the
it's better
community
than being
ignore that she
Republicans or
is.
Democrats. If
Whatever.
they're going to vote Libertarian, I'll take it.
Yeah, I was gonna say she's a better candidate than any of them. So if you're gonna vote, I mean, I wasn't making fun of her. I was making an example that she would have been a better candidate.
Well,
If
yeah,
they're-
for sure.
Like if she would have got that nomination, she would have had better chances of beating Trump than Joe Biden, hands down.
That's all she would have had to say.
Yeah, like,
yeah.
I mean,
If she said as
legalize
much
weed.
less than Biden, and she could win. If she was like, if her face was plastered on enough walls
hey,
with that
I'll-
quote.
yeah, it's fucking.
Oh, and then there's like I kind of I creep the comments a little bit to see how upset everyone is, because it's so funny seeing the melting pot of shit opinions under her campaign post. Because you've got Democrats who are disillusioned with Biden, who they're saying that she's like too pro-gun and that she's like gonna
What?
make Biden lose, and like Democrats converting and shit.
Oh,
and then you've got Republicans who are like, oh well, she doesn't support the cops and the troops, and she wants to end the drug war, and everyone's gonna be addicted to heroin. And it's like, what the fuck? Like, everyone thinks that everyone's personal decisions rely so much on who's in charge of the madhouse.
yeah, crazy. Isn't that ridiculous?
Like the president changes, and all of a sudden, like X things happen. It's like,
Drugs
Yeah.
are so easy to find. Anybody who wants to do drugs is not going to not do them because it's illegal. Like,
They're everywhere.
Including in Rosie's
Oh
house.
my God, how ironic.
Holy shit! Oh my god!
he's down again.
Oh, he's doing drugs.
Yeah.
You weren't. We were talking about heroin. You weren't supposed to actually use it.
It hit hard.
He's a man who leads by example. I respect
I
that.
mean, dude, that's not how that's supposed to go. We're supposed to give a spiel about how if they legalize heroin tomorrow, we weren't gonna do it.
Well, we're re-upping the DARE campaign, and instead of like just telling people drugs are bad, we're gonna do them in front of kids.
Yeah.
and just scar them for life.
Stroke
That-
out like Rez.
It probably
Yeah,
worked better than
that's-
there.
That's the new
He's
move.
talking opiates. I want amphetamines.
All right, I'll
Let's
take
step it up a
opiates
notch.
then.
Opiates
for
fun.
pussies.
Okay, so
Where do we go from there? I think we're just kind of like slowly fading into a delirium.
I had a
so-
date with a
Yeah,
girl
I
who
was
told me
gonna
she
say,
did
I
heroin once.
Oh, how was
What?
she?
Never talked to her again.
That's fair. That sounds like a
Yeah.
good move, buddy.
Yeah, it was too much for me. Good for her though.
glad she made it or something.
I guess. She said she was like, "Yeah, I tried heroin once. It's the best shit I ever put in my body." And I was like, "Wow."
Dang. Like, I'm out.
Yeah.
She's
that
going
what
to rob
you
my
were-
bank account dry.
had you
I,
fucked her
I
yet?
had
Yep.
Ooh. Big oof.
hmm
Rip.
I'm not as good. I'm not as good as heroin.
That sucks.
Too
Yep.
bad, buddy.
I had an Oxycontin one time and decided I could never do it again because it was amazing.
You become addicted.
I woke up the next day and I was like, "Holy shit! I could see how someone could get addicted to that."
And that scared you so much that you had the self-control to be like, "Oh no."
Oh,
Yeah,
man,
yeah, dude, it was that good.
I can't do that
Like,
again.
everything was just so fucking happy. Yeah,
See,
never. And I stay the fuck away from opiates.
we need to re-record our drug PSA episode with Carrie because we had a brilliant conversation with her about that, and I think we talk about drugs so much on this show and like in our community. I think we need to put out that responsible talk once more because we don't usually do it. I think I was listening to the Valentine's episode a couple of days ago, and I was like, I definitely advocated for people using I think heroin.
That's not good. You shouldn't have done that.
It was a joke,
It was
but
a joke, guys.
it was a bad joke.
Yeah, and we might have people that listen that are like,
Oh come! No one knows where to get heroin. Apart
I know
from
where to get heroin.
I was gonna say, apart from all of you, you're not included.
I know where to get crack too.
That-
It's not competition.
Try really hard.
Nope. All right, we just gotta wait this
It
out.
wouldn't be the easiest thing.
I
know
know
where
where
to get CBD in my area.
See, you can get CBD.
Yeah,
That's
Where-
pretty hard stuff, man.
Very
You gotta
cool.
go easy.
yeah. The Family Video has it now.
woo, good shit.
Yeah, they sell it everywhere here.
I think you can even get it for your cat.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know what it would do.
I mean,
for
good.
Ooh.
That was a good one, Rez.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
like
oh.
yeah, it was like practicing his octave.
20, 30, 40 years too late, but
I have no idea how I'm gonna rescue this audio.
Just embrace it.
I
There's no
usually
editing
have to.
for this one.
I think so. For people listening, we haven't done an episode in so long, and we also haven't all just sat in a fucking chat and talked in ages, so that's why it's getting rambly as shit.
Yeah,
we
we
were
gotta,
very
we gotta bleed that out every now and then. We haven't, so it's like everybody gets to listen to it.
Yeah, it's been wild the past month, man. This is like the worst month to not do it.
seriously like. Well, I think it's because something was happening every week, something different that we needed
We
to
won't
talk
get each
about.
other sick.
We were trying to keep up with it, and it was just like, what the fuck is even happening? What's important? What's just bullshit that's going to be forgotten about by the time I edit this? Like,
True.
oh, Gramps, are you on a fucking speedboat?
I was gonna
Yes.
say, is that like my?
This is computer
Yes.
taking the fuck off.
Yeah, you're right. You're either on a like a SpaceX flight or a speedboat.
Yeah, you. Oh god. Oh, jeez.
What are you allergic to?
Like, I cats and sometimes, and we have an outside cat, and sometimes
Coronavirus.
Cats and statism.
cats and statism. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
That sounds like a really low rent libertarian podcast. Okay, look how on Spotify it's gonna exist now. Well, shit. Anyone have any like kind of
Are we done?
Are we done? Can I go now?
I don't want to go. I think I want. I don't know. I want to. Are we done? If we're done, let's hang this bitch up and
And
continue
talk about
this
real
one.
shit. Oh
Our
my
listeners
God.
do not get to listen to the most entertaining part of the conversation.
Yeah,
Ever.
you guys aren't
That's
privy
really
to
sad.
that.
Sorry, guys.
Sorry.
Well, any kind of summarizing thoughts on the whole? I mean, I'm kind of impressed. The protest is still going on. Personally, like I thought.
Yeah, I thought
It seemed like they completely died
Good
out.
staying power.
I think it was like basically dead until this Portland thing happened. Now people are pissed again. It's like, oh look, they made the problem worse. Shocker. You start kidnapping people and
Yeah, the feds should not even. The feds should not be kidnapping communists.
That's
Makes me
the,
laugh a little
the
bit.
controversial take of the day. I guess we're all
Hey, you hear
all
that? You hear
Marxists
that,
now?
you commie fuckers? You hear that? We're advocating for you.
Kind
Take
of.
note. Take note.
Can't believe you
We're
stand
advocating for
side
your
by
rights,
side with
not
people
for
that
you.
hate you.
You're right. Sorry, I said that. I missaid that. We're advocating for you for your rights.
You're still fucking idiots, but
You're still
Even
fucking
I
retarded.
think I don't have rights.
so the end message of the show is increase awareness of stroke. Get checked up.
Symptoms and ways to treat it.
And then you do you, boo. is that really libertarian to say?
Yeah, of course it is. I'd say
Yeah.
babe, but yeah.
I'm pretty
dig
sure
it.
that's libertarian as fuck, right?
I
You
like
do you,
that.
babe.
All right, let's go on.
You know how
Let's get
many
out on
fights
that.
I've started in past relationships by saying you do you, babe?
It doesn't sound
lot
like they
of
were the one, man. You just
A
gotta
lot
keep on trying it until it sticks.
You do you, babe.
Yeah, to be fair, I'd probably fucking hate you.
Yeah, I mean, would that not piss you off? I knew it would piss them off. That's exactly why I did it. But
I think, like,
I
buddy,
think
I
I've
love
said
you.
that a few times.
I love you to death, Guns. But I think if we were a domestic thing, there would be cops would be called a lot.
there'd be so much passion, though.
There'd be so much, passion as in fucking punches in the drywall.
No, it would be like the stereotypical lovely toxic couple.
They'd be like smashed whiskey glasses.
Yeah,
against
yeah,
every
like
wall.
broken glass every other day. But like, when they hang out with people are like, damn, they are in love.
They're pretty cute.
Yeah, like they really
But-
are made for each other.
Uh,
You should try it.
And the
Yeah,
sex tape would probably sell well.
well,
Yeah,
I mean,
I think we're
I
complimenting.
would say $20 $20 to cure that bag, however small it might be, and however much of your dignity it might cost. That's a really bad message to close on. This one.
Why are we still recording right now? This is the kind of shit we do in private.
Yeah,
no,
right.
fuck. You guys are supposed to hang up. Get Craig out of here.
All right.
Get the fuck out, Craig.
Bye, Craig.
Fuck you, Craig.